Hi, a lot of people are asking what's happening with the migration planning this year, why the states and territory hasn't really announced the numbers and what's happening, because usually by this time of the year, a lot of states and territory has already announced the numbers and also have basically started the nomination applications as well. Hi, my name is Nish from Professional Visa and Education Services. I'm an immigration lawyer and also my agent since 2015. Today I'm going to talk about what we know so far in terms of permanent migration numbers for this financial year and what sort of indication we have so far from states and territory. We do have some programs that has been facilitated by South Australia and other states are in a pipeline in relation to potentially talk about the eligibility criteria, but no one has actually come forward and start talking about the eligibility criteria for this financial year. But what we know is from the indication of various media and various publication houses, now the permanent migration program cap for this year remains at 185,000 for 2025-2026 financial year, which is matching to the migration level that was set in 2024-25. Now, looking at the government, why they are taking their time, what it sounds like is, well, this year the government is introducing a multi-year planning model for the migration program from 2025-2026 onward. So what does that mean is, it's not a planning level that is defined every year in a budget and then sort of replicating with the numbers that was facilitated last year, but rather it's the strategic movement of reducing migration numbers, but not in one go, which will have a greater impact on the economy, will have a greater economical impact and also educational impact, and also impact on a skilled migrations division. So rather what the government is doing at the moment is they taking that 3 years, 4 years or 5 years strategy of migration planning model, which means this will be more focused with the long-term goal in terms of our infrastructure, housing, and the service needs. So this is the early indication. But then when it comes to a lot of private sectors, what they have basically mentioned to EMEA or all the the associated parties who is dealing with this migration space, there's some early indication for employer sponsorship visa. Most likely there's going to be a slight increase in numbers, so about 45,000 places for employer sponsorship, which sort of indicates that this year as well, the employer sponsorship visa 482, 186 TRT, 186 direct entry, your Dharma programs 482, labor agreement 482. It seems to be the highlight again because there's a slightly higher numbers, 45,000 for this financial year. The second one is the skill independent visa 189, was staying at about 15,000 places. And then we have the regional state nomination visa, which is the 190, 491. So the numbers around this sort of remains the same, perhaps a small increment from 35,000, ranging from 35,000 to 34,000 places. Now, what's going to happen with this 35,000 numbers will be then allocated amongst the state and territories, especially New South Wales, Victoria, and Tasmania are most likely to have a greater number. So if I compare these numbers last year, 5,000 numbers each, and then the rest will be amortized amongst the territories and other states. So that's all we know so far. So again, when we have more news and update around the eligibility criteria, whether or not the New South Wales to bring up the same pathway 1, 2, 3, or they are also talking to town about New South Wales bringing up registration of interest. Once we know more from the state or territory themselves, we will bring it out to you with no delays. But thanks for watching. Keep following and keep sharing with your friends and family. And I'll be back again with more news and update in future. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.